What's going on, everybody? Today we are on Jay's garage with Jeremy. Duh. We're rebuilding Currie Johnny Joints in my garage. How fun is that? Let's check out the Currie tool. Let's rebuild the 2.5-inch Currie Johnny Joints on my core 4x4 arms that I failed to grease from my Ram 1500. By the way, if you guys want to see a long-term review on those core arms and some buying tips, stay tuned for the next video. In this video, we're just rebuilding the Johnny Joint. Let's get to it. How's everybody cut scenes now? Now, in order to rebuild these, you don't necessarily have to have this tool. This is Currie's own tool for rebuilding this size of Johnny Joint. This is the Johnny Joint used on these arms is like the 2-inch or 2.5-inch. I'll put it on the screen, whichever one it is specifically. But unfortunately, this tool only services that one type. So this tool only services that size of joint. It is a highly popular joint from them, but it's unfortunate that this tool that cost me $100 does not service the different sizes of Johnny joints. Be using it for the first time in this video, and we'll see how it goes. It's a pretty simple design. Basically, it's just going to squish down this washer just enough so that you can remove the snap ring that's on this side. As you can see, there's a snap ring there. So it's just enough to squeeze that snap ring out. And then when you put it all together, it's going to be a bit tighter because everything's fresh. And you're going to have to squish it together so you can get the snap ring in there. That's really all the tool's for. And like I said, it's a $100 tool. We'll see what I think about it. I think if you're if you have some ingenuity, you could probably home make a tool that would get this done. But I opted for the tool. See how it goes. All right, guys, this is how the tool comes. Basically, I just went ahead and put it in the vise. I'm gonna go ahead and remove the top part of the press. Alright. This washer is just for storage so that you can keep it all as one unit. You don't use this during the install process. Okay. That in there like so. Alright, so I just have that in there finger tight. I'm gonna see if I can do the removal process without the tool. Alright, I'm just using my Craftsman snap ring pliers right here. Okay. So the snap ring mostly moves, but I think it will help to go ahead and crank this down a little bit. Okay, so just giving it a little crank. I already heard it kind of snap free. Didn't put much tension on that at all. So let's go ahead and see. Okay, we got our snap ring out. Alright, now you can't really tell by looking at it, but this is slightly tapered. So if you put it on there like this, you can see it doesn't sit all the way on the ridge there. You sit there, it keys in properly. This is how you want to do it for the removal. Okay, that like that. Alright, so we remove the snap ring that's on the other side. Once you remove the snap ring, you disassemble this, you flip it upside down so that the snap ring side is on the bottom here with the included spacer. And then we're going to use this to press out the packing. Now what's kind of nice about this is you can just lift this out. And there we go. We have a disassembled Johnny Joint. Alright. Here we go. Here is our old Johnny Joint. Our old neglected Johnny Joint. As you can see, there's a bunch of crap in there, all kinds of contaminants. There's some hard buildup here on the spherical part. Definitely doing no favors to this bushing. Now the thing to understand, the rebuild kit for these does not include the center ball unit. You can get this separately, so hopefully this cleans up well for me because I didn't order any. The rebuild, you'll see a new one in a minute here, but it includes the 2 washers, the snap ring, and then just this bushing material here. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and clean this joint up, clean the ball up, and we'll see how that goes. Alright guys, I went ahead and cleaned the center spherical part of the Johnny Joint. Cleaned it up as good as I could with the wire brush on a drill. You could use like a bench grinder with a wire brush attachment on it. But you want to get as much of the crap off of this as you can. Now for this portion, you're going to need to support the other end of the control arm. When you're disassembling, I was able to actually like hang the joint on here, but you really need to support it on the other end regardless, but especially during the repacking process. All right, so I'm taking the same kind of grease, that I'm going to maintain these joints with, which is this high quality red line grease, I believe it is. I'll put the correct name and everything in the video and in the video description. But you want to line the inside of this with grease. We're going to put it on our assembly and disassembly tool with the snap ring side facing up. Now, as far as these washers go, Currie wants us to put the sharp side of the washer facing out on both sides and the smooth side facing in. We're going to go ahead and put that guy in. Now we're going to take that same grease and we're going to grease the ball and the inside of this bushing. Okay, I'm greasing up this ball real good. Put that in there. Okay, now this assembly is keyed, so if you're like this, you're wrong. You should feel it fall in, and those points should be touching right there. Let's see if it's picking up on video. You can see it's keyed. Okay, so we got that all greased up. This goes that small side. Remember, there's a big side and a small side. We're putting the small side down. Try to keep this as clean as it can. It's going to get dirty over time, but it's important not to rebuild it with a bunch of contaminants to begin with. So again, sharp side of the washer out. You can kind of feel like this is the more rounded side. This is the more jagged side. So rounded side goes in. The tool, get the stuff off of it from the teardown. So this tool is keyed for the washer. I'll make sure it's in the groove of the washer. And grab our 22mm wrench. We're going to go ahead and press this in. Now once you get the washer below the lip here, the edge of the shell, you want to be careful because you only need it to go down far enough to get the snap ring in. They warn you that if you compress this too much, you'll distort the washers. And you know, it's pretty self-explanatory. You know that you got it far enough to get this snap ring in there because the snap ring goes in there. You did want to make sure during the cleaning that the snap ring channel is cleared out so the snap ring can properly seat in the groove and retain the joint as it should. Okay, it doesn't look like we're quite seated in the groove, so I'm going to add a little bit more attention to the press. Okay, you can hear it click in. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and loosen it now. Now we have one freshly reassembled Johnny joint. Now what I'm actually going to go ahead and do while I have this off right now is I'm going to go ahead and see if I can pump a little bit of extra grease in it so I can know that it's good. Alright, so I went ahead and shot a little extra grease in there. It's important not to put too much grease while you're installing because it closes the tolerance and you may have to press the washers a bit too much. So you only want to put enough grease for the assembly, and it probably doesn't hurt to put more grease in it before you go ahead and use it on the vehicle. Now I do want to note that when these joints are brand new, most any of these style of flex joints like a Johnny joint, they're really tight when they're brand new, so don't expect to pump grease into this and get grease to come out. You're really not going to get much grease coming out of these joints, if at all, until they get worn in. Alright, so there's one arm down. Now it's time to do 3 more. Alright, that wraps up the rebuild on the Currie Johnny joints. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. If you want to see more from Jay's Garage, hit subscribe. If you want to get notified, hit the bell. Till the next video, guys, I'll see you around.